More Filipinos have dropped out of the labor force in September due to the opening of classes. A labor group is also appealing for a 100 peso minimum wage hike across the board amid rising inflation. Shaila Francisco with the story.
The national labor force declined by close to 500,000 in September, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Bulk of those who got out are individuals ages 15 to 24 and 25 to 34.
September kasi start na ng opening ng classes at yung ating citizens na they decided prior to join the labor force, available sila for job. Yung nakita namin na karamihan sa kanila ay bumalik sa eskwela. Yung sa September, schooling 41%, and then household duties, family duties 31% to help sa household work.
This explains why there was a decline among employed and unemployed Filipinos. Underemployment, meanwhile, continued to increase in September. The National Economic and Development Authority notes more individuals sought to earn additional income amid inflation. Paul, for one, is juggling two jobs, being a retailer in the morning and a security guard at night. He says his income as a security guard is not enough to pay bills and the tuition of his sibling.
Para hindi po kakapusin kahit sa pagkain lang. Malaking bagay po talaga. Nakakadagdag gastusin sa bahay. Pinapadala po sa kapatid ko sa probinsya, nag-aaral po.
Currently, the minimum wage is at 570 pesos after a hike of 33 pesos was approved last June. But data from the Bangko Sentral and the National Wages and Productivity Commission show that the real wage, or the wage adjusted for inflation, is at 500 pesos and 44 centavos. This means that around 70 pesos has been eroded considering the 6.9% inflation in September. But Labor Group Partido Manggagawa says that if we account for October inflation, the actual minimum wage value is much lower. That's why the group is appealing to increase wages by 100 pesos across the board.
Ang wage increase natin kapag regional wage work yearly, di ba? Unless may supervening event. Ang inflation, supervening event, lahat ito, di ba? So hindi ito pwedeng magpahintay ng panibagong taon para pag-usapan ulit.
The NEDA, for its part, says subsidies will still be provided to help protect the purchasing power of Filipinos. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
Talk more about their appeal. We have Partido Manggagawa Deputy Secretary General Wilson Fortaleza. He's joining us live via Zoom. Good evening, Mr. Fortaleza. Welcome po to the big story.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Dan. Magandang gabi po sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Sir, balikan lang po natin yung 100 peso wage hike across the board na hinihingi nyo. No? Maybe just explain to everyone, what does the 100 pesos represent for the lives of minimum wage earners?
Remember, Rob, when adjusted to inflation, and the latest was the 7.7 by October, so we lost, workers lost at least 76 pesos. Mm-hmm. When adjusted to inflation. But in another way, the same report by the Philippine Statistics Authority says that the 1 peso today is equal only to 87 centavos. So in both ways, you multiply 570 minimum wage by 0.87%, then the result is almost the same. So kaya 76 pesos ang nawala. Ngayon, remember that there was a wage increase of 33 pesos in June. No? So nung June, 537 lang dati ang minimum wage natin dito sa NCR. So nagdagdag ng 33 pesos nung June. Yung 33 pesos na yun na-wipe out na. No? Na-wipe out na siya. So meaning, na-wipe out na yung dating increase, tapos tuloy-tuloy itong inflation natin. So lalong nabakon sa kahirapan itong mga manggagawa natin. And also remember na prior to the onset of inflation, dati pa naman ito, Rob, na ang level ng wages natin, majority of our workers are receiving what we consider as starvation wages. Yeah. No? Kasi ang minimum wage natin ngayon, if we compute it, for example, if we compute it monthly, ang minimum wage natin na 570 pesos, 12,000 lang. The same amount ng poverty threshold natin ng 2018.
Malinaw naman po yung pagkakalatag nyo ng kaso nyo. I mean, the argument seems very, very, very clear. Notwithstanding that, what are your actual expectations as you advocate for this across-the-board wage hike?
Yes. Why across the board? Kasi pare-pareho lang naman, di ba? inflation hits everybody, but it hits harder, no? Hardest hit itong mga mas mabababa ang sweldo dahil na kulang na yung kanilang kinikita. So, ang tawag lang namin dito, Rob, dan wage recovery pa lamang ito. Meaning, nire-recover pa lang. Yung demand for 100 pesos ay wage recovery pa lamang. Hindi pa nagde-demand ang mga manggagawa ng fair share niya sa economic growth ng bansa na sa nakalipas na 15 years ay nag-double yung labor productivity ng more than 50%. Yet yung value ng real wages natin ay flat for the same throughout that year. So, hindi pa tayo naghahabol nung fair share. Recovery pa lamang ito. Nakakalungkot lang, nire-reject mismo ito ng mga negosyante at tahimik pa ang ating gobyerno dito sa issue ito ngayon.
Okay. But sir, ano po yung likelihood na ma-approve po ito? Have you been able to discuss with the DOLE? How agile is the DOLE in changing the minimum wage each time na nag-iiba po yung inflation print from month to month? Hindi ba po if bumaba naman yung inflation, which they're saying is temporary and will reach the peak by the end of the year, baka wala na pong need to hike for them?
Gaya na nasabi ko kanina, medyo tahimik ang government natin dito. It never was wage increase was the agenda of the recent LEDAC meeting, no? Ang alam natin kasi kapag may supervening event, pwedeng i-adjust ito. Pero very seldom na nangyari sa history natin sa Pilipinas na ang wages ay na-adjust as a consequence ng rise in inflation. Masyadong matagal, masyadong malayo ang agwat at mababa din ang binibigay ng wage boards natin sa mga demand for wage increase. So hindi talaga nakakahabol. So all the time, workers' wages just keep on chasing the movement of prices rather than nagbe-benefit sila doon sa kanilang productivity. Naghahabol lang tayo lagi. Hindi ito demand para yumaman ang manggagawa o maluwan ang buhay ng manggagawa. Demand itong 100 neto para lang niya mabawi yung dapat ay ini-enjoy niya ngayon pero napunta lang sa epekto ng inflation.
Okay, Mr. Fortaleza, maraming salamat po. Partido Manggagawa Deputy Secretary General Wilson Fortaleza.